Hello and welcome to another episode of Techfanaticofficial videos. Today I'm gonna actually spend some time and talk about some launchpads and why I'm interested in them and why it's a good time to start looking at some of them. As you know, the market is actually not great. Ethereum is now down from all-time high of 4K all the way to 1,000, and Bitcoin is also under the price that it had entire 2021. I think, I don't remember this price, maybe it was only a bit in January that it went down to this extent. So overall, the market in middle of 2022 in July is much I guess worse compared to what it was in 2021, and it might continue for a while until it gets back. But life is going on, crypto is going on, projects continue to launch, and it's not like everything has stopped. And a lot of fundraising, a lot of investment, a lot of people still interested in the space are investing. Now, today I want to talk about my launchpad that I'm interested in personally. And of course, this is not financial advice. People have different methods of investing. Some people like to invest in the top blockchain projects, you know, the layer one projects, the Bitcoin, you know, during the bear market, and that's absolutely a great strategy. Some people like to invest in launchpads, and then when the market gets better, those launchpads give really crazy, insane ROIs in their investment. And that's also another way to do it. I personally invested in launchpads last year and also in projects that they had. A lot of times I lost a lot of money, a lot of times I gained really insane ROI. And if it wasn't for the hack that happened to me, which I explained in my other video, in my videos two videos ago, unfortunately, yeah, I lost 80% of my crypto. If it wasn't for that, I would have had a decent amount of crypto to reinvest in other projects, in, you know, layer ones. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and that's fine. But it's something to note that I managed to get to that level by starting from only a couple of $1,000s to much higher figures, and just by investing and reinvesting in launchpads and private sale. Now, in terms of launchpads, DAO Maker is absolutely the top launchpad right now. It's the strongest performing in the space. It gets to attract the best project. It has a really nice user interface, and they also have a really smart model in terms of revenue generation and user attraction. So I personally didn't invest last year in DAO Maker, and I think that was a mistake on my end. If I could go back in time, I would probably start earlier in going to DAO Maker. So the reason they are very successful is, first of all, they have a strong holding model, which means you can stake your tokens. And I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but you can stake your DAO basically, and you get an interest on your DAOs. Plus, for some of the sales that they have, some of that revenue goes back as a reward to you, depending on how long you're holding the tokens. So you get a share from those launches as well. Also, as someone who's staking, the minimum tier is, I'll talk about that. As someone who's staking, you also participate, depending on your tier, on SHOs or strongholder offerings. And if you win a ticket, you participate in their sale, which, for example, they have the SHO coming for these projects. Sometimes they have public SHOs. So that's the second way. As someone who's holder of DAO Maker token, you can get a ticket and participate. The difference between someone who's holding the SHO and non-SHO is that SHO holder doesn't have to pay any particular fee to participate. They get a guaranteed allocation, and, you know, they get the vesting based on the vesting schedule. Plus, they get the staking rewards that they are continuously getting. So that's the benefit that they have. Whereas public SHO is for some projects, for example, Beefeater, I did my previous video, they are more suited for people who might have lower allocation of DAO Maker tokens, or for people who want to try the projects on DAO Maker without investing in DAO Maker tokens. So what they do is they offer public SHO depending on how much tokens you have in your wallet, how socially active you advertise and refer the projects. you get to participate in the SHO. For example, StepApp, if you remember, I referred the project to all of you. That was a project that you could have participated if you use my referral points, because the fundraising was very big. They were raising almost $3 million. A lot of allocation was given even to me and others, and people participated. But the difference is, if you are going via the public SHO, you get two options. Either you have to invest without holding token, and that attracts a fee of 30%. So if you, for example, invest $1,000, you would lose immediately $300 of that, and they give you tokens based on the fact that you invested only $700. So let's say on Beefeater I invested 1,000 and I need to get 12% back, which is the tokenomics here. If you check the project, for that I would have to then get 12% of $700 because $300 already gone. Whereas if you're a DAO Maker holder, you don't have to worry about that. The other thing is, they have people who are a DAO Maker holder also get a second chance in the project. So if you didn't win in the SHO, there's a public SHO, and if you win and you have a DAO Maker token, then the good thing is that you will pay less fee, I think 20%. So again, you get a second chance on participating in that. The other thing that I like about the projects for DAO Maker is they have a really strong research page. So for example, this is for Beefeater. You see the key metrics, screening, the unlocking mechanism, and all the data you need. So you don't need to search the project at all in any other page or anywhere else. Maybe you just need to watch Techfanaticofficial, my channel, and that's going to be a good complementary information for you. Other than that, you don't really need to do much to get to know the projects. So this is really good that they have research, and they have really good usage of data of people. So they look at your social media activity, your wallet, everything, and they use the algorithms to determine your allocation. So it's really smart. It's just not a random allocation that they give. And their performance has been really good for some launches, not all, but some. For example, StepApp, 150x at the highest point, all-time high, still sitting at 15x. They did AdaSwap, 12x, 43x Gamium, and many other projects that had 100x. So if you look at DAO Maker launches, Gamefi, which is a Launchpad, you probably know about Gamefi, they actually were incubated by DAO Maker. At the all-time high, they reached a price of $366, which is an insane price for a token to reach. And this was at the peak of Gamefi bull run last year. So having a price now is still sitting at a 12x in this market, that's really, really great. So imagine someone who has invested in the allocation, IDO or private allocation of this project, that you know, few $1,000s in this, that would have given them 6-figure returns. Again, that's why I regret not being in DAO Maker earlier, and now I learned my lesson. This was another project that is so big, it's even in Binance, it's listed there, 298. Victoria VR, 200x. StepApp, I got into this one, 150x. I got hacked, so my first allocation got lost. But still, I still have 90% of my tokens, so it's not too bad. You know, still sitting at 14x. But people ask me, how do people get such crazy return? I'm just showing you. Of course, sometimes they get lower returns. It's not always great. But if you were in just one of these, you know, you would have made it really, really well, and you would have been super happy. So that's one of the great projections for this. In terms of the pricing as well, they're now sitting at $1.25. So it's a really good time to grab some of their tokens. Its highest price has been $6.45. Lowest price has been $1.22 since the entire time that they have been around, since basically early 2021. Their ICO price was 10 cents. So they're still 10x of their IDO price. But remember, this is a project that is really well elaborated model, and they make money, they make fees, so they inject back money into the token. So it's never, I don't think there's going to be a time But unless the whole crypto is, gone and over, there's not going to be a time where DAO Maker is going to go down to, 20 cents or something like that. So it is a project that you should definitely look at and do your own research, but definitely good for investment purposes. And for the tier holding, you can go to the DAO Maker site and see what tiers you need. But minimum tier you need to have is 2,000 and the maximum is 50,000. So depending on how rich you are, you can invest. Now, DAO Maker also launched Infinitypad. So Infinitypad is actually a product of DAO Maker, and they incubated it last year. They launched it because there was a huge demand, especially in Gamefi and other projects. They attracted a lot of investors. They also performed really well last year. And some of the projects they've launched, for example, the most recent one 2-3 months ago was RevelBots. It did an all-time high of 27x. It had Ubisoft as the key investor. And some of the other projects, if you look here, for example, Lunar Rush had an all-time high of 80x. Cryptomon, which I did a video, if you remember, it's a really nice project, made 34x. And also Calo, which a lot of you probably are using it if you're into the Move to Earn project, has also done a 10x. So Infinitypad has been another really good launchpad, again, incubated by DAO Maker team. They have the core team involved. And as you can see, the design, they have the core concepts taken from there as well. So they also have the same model that they have the staking program. And depending on how much you're staking, you will get an allocation. So their staking tiers over here is tier 0 is 50,000 iPad. And the top tier is 700,000 iPad. So depending on the tier that you're investing, you get an allocation of 1 means you get only 1 ticket, whereas tier 4 gets 12 times more in terms of weightage of the allocation. So depends on how much you want to invest. And there are some nice projects coming for them. For example, BitRivals, Bitflix. I really like Bitflix, and Cryptcade, which I did a video about, are some of the projects that they're going to launch. Now, in terms of their pricing, is something to look at as well. They are now 0.04, which is double their IDO price. Which is a good time to look at this, because to get an allocation of, for example, minimum allocation of 50,000 iPad, you could basically, let's have a look, 50,000 multiplied by 0.04. So you could get the minimum allocation with $200 and participate at the lowest tier just to start if you want, or 400. So $200, $400, $800. And if you're, you have more money, you could go all the way to $3,000-$4,000. So $3,000-$4,000 gives you the maximum allocation now for iPad, which would have been, if you look at the all-time high of the project, which would have been probably $30,000-$40,000 in the bull market. So, because it's 10x or more. In comparison, the minimum tier for DAO Maker is 2K. Of course, the returns have been higher, but the minimum tier for DAO Maker as well is 2,000 tokens, which is around 2,500. So please keep that in mind as well when you're doing your investment. Now, with iPad, they also have the public SHO model. For example, with Cryptcade, they're bringing it. The good thing is they don't have any flipper fee, which they have with the DAO Maker one. DAO Maker flipper fee means if you allocation is free, you don't hold the tokens. And if you flip some of your tokens, you will not receive some of it as a tax. Whereas in this fund, you don't have that model. But if you're a public SHO participant, you still pay a fee of 15%, so not 30%. So if you have invested $1,000, that will be deducted, and it will be $850 worth of allocation in a particular IDO that you're participating. Now, also, I want to let you know, please make sure you follow Infinitypad page. This is the real page they have. Their original page got hacked, and I'm following it as well because the old page that I had followed, that got hacked. So make sure you follow this one. And this is a genuine pitch. I'm gonna share it in my channel as well. Don't be, don't think that because it's only 800 followers, it's the fake one. It's the real one. Someone took control of the fake one. So make sure you follow the Infinitypad page as well over here. Now, something Infinitypad has is the safeguard for their strongholder offering. So that's something that some IDO projects are doing. So they have a price drop policy. So if you participate in a particular IDO, let's say CryptK, and if the token price falls by 50% of IDO price for more than 4 hours in the first 2 days, or the value goes down by 30% of launch price for a period of 5 days, the first 120 hours, or if the token value goes below IDO price for more than 15 days, then you will be eligible for a full refund. The policy is also watching the project until the 3rd vesting date or the 3rd month, whichever is longer, to make sure people are getting the return of interest. So for example, if the price has been $1, but the price dropped to 50 cents in 4 hours, or below 70 cents, or less than $1 for more than 360 hours, then you get a refund. Projects also will receive their funds based on the vesting schedule. So it's not like the Launchpad is going to give you all the money for this schedule. That's to make sure they're going to be doing well. They will be used to use the market maker and provide a minimum of $500,000 in liquidity. So stablecoin and 250K of their token to make sure there's enough liquidity to basically invest in the project. And also, they will be audited fully by the team. And remember, this team will have the people who are going to be people who have been in DAO Maker, basically. And in terms of the iPad users, if any of these policies is not met, then they will be refunded. So that's really good about the Infinitypad, and good time to invest as they are only double their price right now. Next one, which is familiar for all of you, is Enjinstarter. So Enjinstarter is a launchpad that I have talked a lot about it in many projects, and many of my videos have covered it. So you're quite familiar with them if you're familiar with my videos. They're backed by Engine Network, and they're partnered with Animoca brands as well as TGV. They got a Series A recently. Now they're focusing more on entertainment. So Gamefi, move to earn, music, NFT, these sort of projects are the bread and butter. And they are right now in a very good entry point in terms of pricing if you want to invest. So how you can participate in IDO is you go to staking. They have 30 days, 1 year, and 999 days pools. You buy the tokens first, you stake it here, and you'll be eligible after you do your whitelisting to participate. They have 3 tiers. The smallest tier is at the moment 100,000 tokens. And the highest tier is 500,000 tokens. So if you get a minimum of 500,000 token, you will be eligible to participate in all of the IDOs, even the exclusive ones. If you don't have to pay 500,000 token, you could pay 100,000 tokens or more and invest it in a 999-day staking pool, and then be eligible for all the allocations, so guaranteed allocations that they have. They also have a first come first serve model, but for this model, you need to basically have some tokens, and it's not a guaranteed allocation. Whereas in the guaranteed pool, you have the allocation of guarantee, and you have a day to invest in the project. Now, some of the projects that they have launched that's been pretty good is Killbox, PatDAO, and Defina. They had an all-time high of 50x for Killbox, and for some like Cryzivia or Monster Galaxy, they had an all-time high of 13x. So they have had really great all-time highs in the Gamefi bull run, and now it's gone slightly lower. Now, their Launchpad price is really good because it's 0.024 cents. So that means it's at the between strategic and private one price. And in that price, you basically need to invest less than $2,000 to get their maximum tier right now, which is the $500,000, and stake it for 999 days, or even less. For that, you can participate. Or if you want to buy only 100,000 tokens, which would be a $240 investment for you. So it's really cheap entry and getting a guaranteed IDO allocation. Now, they also have introduced a refund policy for their IDOs. And with that refund policy, basically, it allows you to participate in IDOs with a peace of mind. I have so many links open, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, so basically, to summarize, there's a lot of policy here, but they will look at the first 40% of the vesting, and the first 40% of the vesting needs to be above the IDO price. If the project does really well and breaks the return on investment for a week or so on their first TGE unlock, then they don't need to follow the protection policy. So for example, if a project does a 10x with a 10% release and everyone can sell at 10x, then you don't need to worry about the protection policy because they already met the minimum criteria. If not, they will monitor you for the next 40% of your vesting to make sure you're performing and you're doing well. The fourth and last launchpad I would like to talk about, and I really like them as well, is Poolz. So Poolz is multi-chain, and they launch projects on Near Protocol, Ethereum, Binance, Avalanche, Nervous Network, Moonbeam. They are quite well established, well known since the beginning of the last year, and they've launched really cool projects as well. They have also a governance model where you can invest, and they also have 3 tiers. So they have incubation, ventures, and also the boutique, where is the service they're providing. So they are an end-to-end company, not just the Launchpad. So to be able to participate in their IDOs, for guaranteed allocation, you need to have top 100, basically. As a top 100 holder, you would be guaranteed to be able to participate in the IDOs with decent number of tickets. For example, right now, the top tier person is holding, the highest, of course, is a whale holding 297,000 tokens. But if you go all the way to 100, so the person who is the number 100 now is holding 1286 tokens in Poolz, allowing them to participate in the IDOs. So these are people who get multiple tickets. So for example, with 100, they got 5 allocations. These are guaranteed allocations. But if you're in the top 50, 250, you're also in a very high chance to have an allocation in Poolz. And to get into this, you need to have 250 tokens or more. Now, Poolz price right now is $1.33, and it had an all-time high of $15. So as you can see, they're definitely much cheaper than what it was, and the lowest price they ever had has been $1. So I recommend basically having a look and investing in them as well if you want to participate in Poolz IDOs, because with less than 250 tokens, which is, let's say, $400, you get the minimum entry allocation. For a guaranteed allocation, you need to invest $2,000 based on the graph that I showed you. Some of the projects that they have launched previously has been Banaka Farm and Yellow Road and Spaceship and Network and Gains Associate, JM Guardian. These are like 50x or higher. They also launched CryptoMon. So as you can see, they have given a very nice return on investment, and also an average all-time high of 18x on their projects, let alone being able to incubate projects and having the governance. So there's a governance function as well. In their governance function, you can participate in over here. Some of these are governance member. So these people have staked over 20,000 tokens, giving them the allowance to be in governance, which allows them to basically participate in IDOs. and be able to invest even in the private round for projects. So that's one good thing they have. Now, I already mentioned to you about the allocation, and they are one of the actually first projects to introduce the refund policy. So also between 12 to 24 hours, they will monitor the price of the project. And if the project has been underperforming, they will refund the participants. I'll also quickly just talk about the project. Some of these launchpads are launching soon. And then we wrap the video here. So DAO Maker is doing Beefeater. I did a video on them, Wing Riders, and soon they will have the token generation event of Zana, which I did a video as well. Upcoming videos, Engines of Fury, projects, Mon Network, Codified, and Omnia. iPad is going to do IDOs for Cryptgate, Backup Space, BitRivals, and Bitflix, and GT Protocol. Enjinstarter is going to do IDO of projects like Clone, Born to Die, Reign of War, Going Ape, another one, and League of Empires. Poolz is going to do IDO for Fusotao, Neptune Mutual, Monstera, as well as Cheaply. So these are some of the projects that they're going to launch, and this is under the risk-free model. So these are some of the projects they're going to launch. And I hope that this video was maybe long, but very informative for you to make decisions on if you're interested to participate in IDOs and launchpads, which ones to choose from, what are the entry points, and what are the pricing points. Thank you for watching this video, and I see you next time.